This is a Sumo Romanian deadlift with a barbell. With the Sumo Romanian deadlift, we have our feet out nice and wide with your toes turned out, and your knees are soft, but the knees are still out wide with your feet as well. So make sure you've got your knees out pointing the same direction your toes are as you then perform all the same points of form that you would in a standard Romanian deadlift. So let's review that. Now you can make this a little bit easier for your setup by putting a stack of plates underneath the barbell so it starts at a higher platform. So you don't have to descend as low to pick it up and get it. If you're not using that, then you have to have a really good sumo deadlift form from the ground. So make sure you've got that dialed in because you're going to have to perform one to get it up and to put it back down. So let's review that here. I'm going to position my feet so that my midfoot is underneath the bar. I'm then going to use the texture of the bar, that sort of diamond grip and the smooth part, to determine that my feet are symmetrical in relation to the bar. So that way I know I'm also standing centered right in the middle of it. My feet are turned out nice and wide, about maybe like a 45-degree angle. And when I bend my knees at any point, my toes are going to follow where my knees are pointing. Now I'm going to kind of screw my feet into the floor so they're gripping nice and solid into the floor there. Then I'm going to descend down with a nice neutral spine and a nice hip hinge tilting over. I'm going to grab the bar just inside of my knees. From here, I've got my spine nice and long through the back of my head, and I'm going to bring my shins forward so they just barely touch the bar, and then I'm going to get my shoulders squeezing back and down, trying to get my shoulder blades into my back pockets. From here, now I'm going to create tension in my body, abs tight, glutes tight, legs tight, back tight, shoulders are squeezing back and down. I'm going to drive through and stand up nice and tall. Now I'm in my starting position. The Romanian deadlift starts up top, and we only descend as far as we're able to go with our hamstrings, and then when the hamstrings are tight, we drive back up from there. So with the sumo, I've got my feet out wide. I'm going to stick my butt out behind me, almost like I'm trying to close a car door with my butt. So as if you were had your hands full of groceries, you got to hit that door and get it shut with your butt. Stick your butt out behind you, tilt forward. Bar remains just below your shoulders, but your shoulders are still squeezing back and down, keeping that weight stable in your back. Knees are soft, so you're bending your knees a little bit, not a lot of it, but they're also not locked out. So knees are just soft with a slight bend, and you tilt down through there just until your hamstrings are tight. When your hamstrings are tight, if you go further than that, you're going to end up rounding out your lower back, and that's bad form. We don't want to go into that. So we're going to stop at that point and squeeze our butt and squeeze through the hamstrings, through our back to come back all the way up tall. And then we'll repeat that. Stick the butt out back behind you. Shoulder blades are sticking out, shoulder blades are trying to get in the back pockets. Knees are soft. Once my hamstrings get really tight, I got my nice neutral spine still intact, so then I'm going to lift up from there, squeezing the glutes, driving through the back of the legs there. And when you're done, you need to reverse your full deadlift. So we're going to descend down, sticking the butt out back, hip hinging. And then once the hamstrings are tight, might be about the height of the bar is about the height of the knees there. That's when I'm going to bend my knees. My knees are going to follow the midline of my feet, and I'm going to set the bar down to the ground, and then you're free. So it's really important that when you're doing this with the Romanian deadlift, stop at the point when your hamstrings get tight, because if you keep going further than that, inevitably your lower back is very likely going to round out, and now you're bearing all this weight on a curved spine, and your vertebrae don't like that. Your muscles and joints back there don't want to bear that weight that way. It's very important the spine remains nice and straight, and you're not trying to make the lower back a prime mover of this lift. You want to make those muscles stabilizers, and the prime mover is your butt, and then your hamstrings work synergistically with them. Take your time with this. Use a dowel rod. Use something that's got pretty much no weight. Do it with no weight in your hands at all, and just work on this hip hinging form. And once you've got this hip hinging form, you can also do this with dumbbells to slowly add weight, and when you're ready to level up to a barbell form, take your time and make sure you got everything dialed in with your Sumo Romanian deadlift on a barbell.